Hello.
Hello, Dr. Ishak.
Hello.
Dr. Ishak, please you can start.
You can start. Okay. All right. Which anyone to read for us?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, so question 1. How many kinds of pharmacies can be registered by Pharmacy Council? A, 3, B, 6, C, 5, D, 2.
All right. So how many kinds of pharmacies can be registered by Pharmacy Council? Anyone?
5.
5. Okay. Why not 2? So what are the 5 pharmacies that can be registered by Pharmacy Council? Yeah, I heard 5. So what are the 5? So the answer is correct, but I want to know which 5 kinds are registered by Pharmacy Council. So what you should take note is that Pharmacy Council issue 2 types of licenses. We have retail license and wholesale license. These are the 2 main types of license. However, irrespective of the license, you can have about 5 different kinds of pharmacies. Some are just retail. So the kinds of pharmacies, one is retail pharmacies. So these pharmacies engage in people coming in, walking in to buy or purchase drugs in single units. So that's retail pharmacies. Then we have wholesale pharmacies where people come in to buy in bulk and stock their pharmacies and all that. So that's wholesale. So we have 2 now. And we have other types of pharmacies that combine both retail and wholesale. So we have another facility which is operating both retail and wholesale. So if you want to buy in singles, you can go in and purchase. If you want to buy in bulk too, you can also do as well. So retail and wholesale pharmacies. Then we also have pharmacies within hospitals, clinics, and other facilities that may require a pharmacy. So you realize that aside typical community pharmacies, where we have retail, wholesale and retail, you can have pharmacies within hospitals. So you can take a place like maybe Tech Hospital. Tech Hospital has a pharmacy within. So that's a pharmacy within a hospital. You can have a private clinic within. Then any other facility that requires a pharmacy. So you realize that aside hospitals and clinics, at times you go to maybe the mall and you see a pharmacy within the mall. So it's neither a hospital nor a clinic, but it's a facility that requires pharmacy. So you can have pharmacies within malls. So all these are registered by Pharmacy Council. And the last one is manufacturing wholesale pharmacies. So they are wholesale pharmacies, but they also engage in manufacturing. So these are the 5 kinds of pharmacies that are registered by Pharmacy Council. Let's move on. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Question 2. Pharmacies within private clinics do not require license registration with Pharmacy Council. True or false?
So which one are we going for? Is it a true or false statement? Anyone?
False.
So it's a false statement. We just went through the 5 kinds of pharmacies that are registered by Pharmacy Council. And you do realize that we talked about pharmacies, stores, and clinics. So for private facilities, they also require with Pharmacy Council. Let's move on.
Are permitted to supply all classes of medicines. True or false?
So true or false statement? Which one?
That's true.
True.
So it's a true statement. So now what are the classes of medicines? Because we said pharmacists are permitted to supply all classes of medicine. So which of them?
Class A, Class B, and Class C. Class A comprising of prescription-only medications. Class B comprising of pharmacy-only medications. And Class C comprising of over-the-counter medicines.
Okay, so that's very true. So these are the classes of medicines that we have. Class A, B, and C. A for prescription-only medicines. And this means that you need a prescription before you can serve these kind of medication. Class B are pharmacist list of medications. So a pharmacist can dispense it, give it out without a prescription. Then Class C is over-the-counter preparations, where clients can walk in and ask for these medications. So take note of that. So what about over-the-counter or chemical shops? So chemical shops, which of the classes of medications can they serve?
Class C medications.
Class C.
Yeah, so only Class C. They can serve only Class C medications. All right, let's move on.
Number 4. Wholesale pharmacies do not require the presence of a superintendent pharmacist. True or false?
All right, so wholesale pharmacies, do they require superintendent pharmacists? Is it a true or false statement? Anyone?
False.
So it's a false statement. Wholesale pharmacies require the presence of a superintendent pharmacist. Even though people come in to buy in bulk and all that, you may not directly be dealing with patients, but you have to be there to make sure that everything is in order. The authorized people are the ones coming for the medications and all that, the integrity. So it requires a superintendent pharmacist. So true. No, this is a false statement. The question said do not require. So it is false. All right, let's move on.
Number 5. Which of the following is not an over-the-counter medication? A. Asmanol. B. Paracetamol suppositories. C. Podophyllin. D. Fancida.
All right. So which of them is not over the counter?
B.
I'm hearing B. Any other answer?
Paracetamol suppository.
Okay. Is anyone going for a different answer?
B. B.
Okay. So
B.
you know what asthma is? We are getting some feedback from someone. So do you know what asthma is?
Yeah,
Who can tell me what
Yeah,
asthma is? What's the composition of asthma?
theophylline and ephedrine.
yeah.
Yeah, so sulfilin and ephedrine. Okay. So, and you know what podophyllin is used for?
Genital what?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so what?
What?
Then fancida. What is fancida?
SP.
SP.
Doesn't parameter.
Yeah, sulfadoxine pyrimethamine. Okay, so that's for intermittent prophylaxis of malaria in pregnancy. All right, so we are saying which of them is not an over-the-counter medication. So that means a client cannot walk in and say they want maybe asthma, paracetamol suppository, podophyllin, fancida. Which of them is not? I had paracetamol suppository. So someone cannot walk in and ask for paracetamol suppository because the child is warm and all that. So it's not over the counter. Is that what we are saying? Or there's a different answer to this?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello, please. Dr. Ishak is having a little issue. He'll get back to us soon.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I had a call coming through. All right, so let's continue from where we left off. I think we were on question 5, right? Yeah, so I was
Yes,
Yes,
asking
please.
please.
about the over-the-counter medication, which of them? So if you've practiced for a very long time, you realize that paracetamol suppository is one of the common medication usually these mothers come in for when their child or what is feverish. They want to get P more suppository to insert. So you may be tempted to say that it's an over-the-counter medication because you have a lot of mothers coming in for it. So it's over-the-counter without prescription. When it comes to the laws, the law on the ground, when it comes to the law is the law. So you want to make sure that you apply what is actually in the law. So there's this and this FDA list of drug class. So as much as possible, you have to try and familiarize yourself with some of the medication that are under over-the-counter prescription and pharmacist list of medication. Else, counter. It may not make sense though, but how feeling that one, you know that you have to be diagnosed by a health professional that you have what before you come for podoflin. But under the list of medication by FDA, podoflin is actually over-the-counter medication. Asmanol contains theophylline and ephedrine. It used to contain but now they've removed the phenobarbital. You know the issues with phenobarbital and respiratory depression. And these asthmatics, they are prone to this. So now it's theophylline and ephedrine. The content of asmanol is very important when classifying it under over-the-counter or not over-the-counter. So if the amount of ephedrine is 11 milligram and the theophylline component is 120 or less, it qualifies to be an over-the-counter. But anything above 120 of theophylline and 11 milligram of ephedrine, you can classify it as over-the-counter. So for asthma like this, when you check the constituents, it's 11 milligram ephedrine, 120 phenobab. So it qualifies. So that means the patient can walk in and ask for asthma without a prescription. And fancy that too, you go through the list of medication, realize pyrimethamine with sulfonamide combination also falls under over-the-counter medication. So that's why paracetamol is the exception. Are we clear on that?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, let's move on.
Question 6. Which of the following is a prescription only medication? A. Aciclovir 5% cream. B. Tretinoin cream. C. Benzyl peroxide. D. Benzyl benzoate.
Okay, so which one are we going for?
Attakorah.
Okay, I'm hearing aciclovir. Any other answer?
Tretinoin.
Is everyone going for aciclovir?
No, B, tretinoin cream.
Tretinoin.
Okay. I'm also hearing tretinoin. So which is which? Tretinoin or aciclovir?
Tretinoin, because aciclovir is not more than 5%.
All right. So aciclovir 5% cream is not a prescription only medication. So the available strengths of aciclovir, we have 3%. 3% is for eye. So the eye aciclovir eye ointment is 3%. The one you apply topically on the skin is 5%. And the one used for the cold sore, herpes orolabialis, is also 5%. These are not prescription only medication. But if you have any aciclovir ointment which is above 5%, say 10%, anything more than 5% is prescription only medication. Anything 5% or less is not prescription only medication. I don't know if you are getting it. So anything above 5% is prescription. So tretinoin cream, what do we use it for?
For acne.
Yeah, so tretinoin is for acne. Benzoyl benzoate is for what? What do you use benzoyl benzoate for?
For scabies.
Yeah, so that one is for scabies. Then benzoyl peroxide is also for
Acne.
acne. All right. So someone can come and buy um, benzoyl benzoate, which is for scabies without a prescription, or benzoyl peroxide without a prescription. But the moment you want to buy tretinoin, even though it's also for acne, just like benzoyl peroxide, tretinoin is a prescription only medication. So unlike benzoyl, this one is prescription only medication. So there's no format to learning this. You just have to familiarize your system and whether they are prescription only, pharmacist list of medication, or over-the-counter medications. Let's move on.
Number 7, which of the following qualifies as a pharmacist only?
So scroll down to the question we are on now. I think is it question 6 or 7? Okay. So we have a list of only medication.
That's D.
On trying.
D for your home bay.
D.
Okay, I'm hearing your himbing. Any other answer? So a pharmacist cannot serve diclofenac suppository. Is that what you guys are telling me?
Dr. Shak,
Hmm.
that's interesting. We do, but as you said, with regards to the paracetamol, it applies here as well. They've given a specific strength. You can't go beyond.
Exactly. So you do realize that 100 milligram suppository is very common in our pharmacies. Usually, the very elderly people, they'll come, they want something because they have waist pain, they want something they can insert rectally. And diclofenac suppository is very common in the pharmacy. So we serve it very often without prescription as pharmacists. But here in this question, you can't serve diclofenac suppository without a prescription. Per the law requires that you are limited to certain strength. So which available strength can we serve as pharmacists and which one can't we serve?
50 and 75 milligram.
Yeah, so 50 milligram, 75 milligram, being it tablets, capsules, and suppository. Pharmacists can serve it without prescription. But the moment is 100 milligrams suppository. You can't serve it without a prescription. But looking at drugs like Librum, what is Librum? What's the active ingredient?
Chlordiazepine.
Chlordiazepine.
Yeah, so chlordiazepoxide is a benzodiazepine that is usually used in alcohol withdrawal symptoms. So you can serve it as a pharmacist. So you can serve it as a pharmacist with prescription. So if you have a prescription, that one you can serve it. Studuron contains what?
Cinnarizine.
Cinnarizine.
Prescription medication. Then your himbin. So it's an alpha 2 antagonist, right? What is it used for? So it's used for what? Anyone?
Erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, so erectile dysfunction. So it's the opposite of methaldopa. Methaldopa agonist. So you know the staple is procomel. So every tablet, the tablet contains your himbin, but the spray doesn't contain your himbin. That's lidocaine. All right. So for your himbin, a pharmacist can serve it without a prescription. So it qualifies to be a pharmacist list of medication. But Studuron, Librum, and diclofenac suppository, these require prescriptions. All right, let's move on.
Number 8. Over-the-counter medications belong to which class of medications? A, class C, B, class D. She has her
Right.
institution would you recommend to her for the registration of the company's name? A, Pharmacy Council, B, HEFRA, C, Registrar General Department, D, Ghana Standards Board.
Okay. So Oluwatoyin wants to establish a pharmacy in Kumasi. She has decided to name her pharmacy Oluwapharma. So which institution would you recommend for the registration of the company's name?
Registrar.
C. Registrar General.
Registrar General.
So in terms of the company's name, is the Registrar General's Department. That is where you register the company. The Pharmacy Council doesn't register the name. It's rather the Registrar General's Department. All right, so let's move on.
Number 10, inspection of premises and approval of application for a pharmacy gives authorization for commencement of business. True.
False.
False.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so which one are you going for?
False. False.
Yeah, so that's a false statement. So in the application for a pharmacy, first you have to put in the application, and if council inspect the place and realize the place is suitable, they look at certain things, usually the population, the accessibility, the distance criteria and all that, the size. If everything is okay, they'll give you a first approval. That first approval doesn't mean an authorization to start business. It only means that you have to prepare the place for a second approval. That will be the final approval. After the final approval, and you've paid the required fee and everything, then you can commence business. So the approval is not a permission to start business. All right, let's move on.
Number 11, how long does an applicant have to prepare the premises for final inspection after initial approval? A, 6 months. B, 3 months. C, 1 year. D, 1 month.
Yeah, so how long does the person have?
6
So
months.
6 months.
6 months.
So after the first approval, if they've checked and everything, not doing your shelves, your tiles, the decorations in the pharmacy, you have to get a dispensary, counseling area, and all that. So all that you have 6 months to do. After 6 months, they'll come for a final approval. And the final approval will determine whether you can start business or not. All right, let's move on.
Number 12, a pharmacist may be called for an interview on submission of application for a pharmacy. True or false?
All right, so what are you going for?
True.
True.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's a true statement. So you can be called to come for an interview, then together with maybe the proprietor, there's something wrong with it. They can call you for an. Let's move on. Interview.
Number 13, the Registrar General's documents include all of the following except A, certificate of application, B, certificate of incorporation, C, certificate to commence.
All right, so
A.
so A, that's the exception. So there are three documents you get from the Registrar General's Department. That's where where you register the company's name. So assuming maybe you are called NS, you want to establish a pharmacy and you want to use maybe NS Pharmacy because there's already another pharmacy which is existing already. So you have NS Chemist with the same name. So you can't use NS as the name for your facility because there's an already existing NS Chemist. So you can use maybe something which is different but may have a component of your name or something. So you can make it any pharma. Any pharma doesn't bear the same resemblance as NS Chemist. So in trying to register, they always check this one. After that, if it fulfills all the other requirements, then they will give you 3 certificates. One of the certificates is the certificate of incorporation. So all businesses in Ghana are registered by the Registrar General's Department. So once you register with them, it shows that you are now certified as one of the companies registered by Registrar General's Department, and they are incorporating you into the available businesses we have in Ghana. So that's the certificate of incorporation. The certificate to commence business, once you get that one, you are good to go to start business. But that certificate doesn't mean you should open the pharmacy to the public because you are awaiting Pharmacy Council's approval. So you may get certificate to commence business from Registrar General's Department and start maybe your own business. Maybe you are selling water, you are selling something, you can do it. But if it's pharmacy that you want to do, you have to wait for Pharmacy Council's approval after the certificate to commence business. Then the company's code is a unique company. So these are the 3 things you get from the Registrar General's Department when you want to start a pharmacy. So once you get these documents, then you can begin the process of application with Pharmacy Council. Without this document, you can't start the application process. So you should get this document first before you start the application process. So certificate of application is not part. Let's move on.
All these are pre-approval requirements for a prospective pharmacy except A. Pharmacist, B. Prescribed fee, C. Location, D. Registrar General's documents.
Okay, which one are you going for? Is everyone going for B?
Yes, please, I agree with him.
So before you go in for a prospective pharmacy, you have to get the Registrar General's document, as I mentioned, the 3 documents, company's code, incorporation, and to commence business. You have to get it.